The modern economy has a very specific way of telling you that you're special while it picks your pocket, and nothing embodies this quite like the glowing interface of a food delivery app. You're sitting on your couch, you're tired, and you decide that a $15 burger is the only thing standing between you and a total mental breakdown. It feels like a small indulgence, a minor reward for surviving another day of corporate Slack notifications and existential dread. Here's the lie. The convenience of food delivery is a small fee for a luxury service. Society, and the marketing departments of billion-dollar tech giants, wants you to believe that you're only paying a couple of extra dollars to have a hot meal teleported to your door. The promise? I am going to prove to you, using the brutal math of 2026 delivery logistics, that your $15 burger actually costs you closer to $38 in real-world capital. We're going to deconstruct the convenience tax layer by layer until you realize that you aren't just buying dinner, you are participating in a massive wealth transfer from your future self to a Silicon Valley server farm. Why does the app make it so easy to spend $40 on a sandwich, yet so hard to see where the money actually went? Let's look at the anatomy of a digital mugging. The trap begins with the decoupling effect. Psychology tells us that the more steps we put between the desire and the payment, the less pain we feel. When you use a delivery app, you aren't handing over physical cash, you're tapping a glass screen. You aren't even looking at the final price until the very last second. You spend 20 minutes scrolling through menus, a process designed to induce decision fatigue. By the time you finally pick the burger, your brain is so tired of making choices that it loses the ability to perform basic arithmetic. You're just grateful the search is over. It's like me trying to pick a movie on a Friday night. By the time I choose one, it's 11 p.m. and I'm too tired to actually watch it. The apps also use anchoring. They show you the $15 price tag first. That's the anchor. Everything that comes after, the service fee, the delivery fee, the small order fee, the regulatory response fee, feels like a minor deviation from that original $15. It's the same logic I use when I tell myself a $200 jacket is a steal because it was originally $500, ignoring the fact that I actually just spent $200 on a piece of fabric I'll probably spill coffee on within the week. Let's get into the hidden math of the delivery scam. To understand how $15 becomes nearly $40, we have to look at the three-way heist occurring between you, the restaurant, and the driver. Scenario A, the in-person experience. You walk into the restaurant. The burger is $15. You pay $1.20 in tax and leave a $3 tip. Total, $19.20. You are out the door, fed and satisfied for under $20. Scenario B, the digital delivery. This is where the math gets ugly. First, there's the menu markup. Restaurants aren't stupid. Delivery apps take a 15 to 30% commission from the restaurant on every order. To survive, the restaurant raises the price of that $15 burger to $19.50. You've lost $4.45 before you've even checked out. Next, the service fee. This is usually around 15% of the subtotal. On your new $19.50 price, that's another $2.93. Then the delivery fee. Unless you have a subscription, which is just a way to prepay for your own exploitation, that's an average of $3.99 in 2026. We aren't done. Now comes the regulatory/small order fee. Many cities have capped commissions, so apps added a flat local fee of $2 to keep their margins fat. Now we calculate tax on the inflated price, not the original $15. That's roughly $2.10. Finally, the tip. If you're not a monster, you tip 20% on the total shown on the screen. 20% of the $30.52 subtotal is $6.10. Current total, $36.62. But wait, there's the opportunity cost. It took you 20 minutes to find the food and 40 minutes for it to arrive. If your time is worth $30 an hour, you just spent another $30 in labor watching a little car icon move slowly across a map. Even if we ignore the labor, your $15 burger has effectively doubled in price. You're paying a 144% premium for the privilege of not putting on pants and walking 2 blocks. It's the most expensive walk you never took. I've done it too. I once paid $22 for a single iced coffee to be delivered because I was too busy to walk 5 minutes, then spent 20 minutes complaining to my cat about how expensive life is. Look at a character like Toby. Toby earns a decent salary, but feels like he's treading water financially. He orders delivery 3 times a week. To Toby, it's just $40 here and there, but let's look at Toby's annual convenience tax. At 3 orders a week, Toby is spending roughly $110 a week on delivery. Over a year, that's $5,720. If Toby had picked that food up himself, he would have spent $2,995. Toby is paying a $2,725 annual tax to avoid the friction of real life. That's a vacation to Europe. That's a massive chunk of a down payment. That's the scam in action. It doesn't kill you with one giant blow. It bleeds you out through 1,000 tiny service fees. The reality check is that these apps aren't logistics companies. They are impulse control liquidators. They exist to capitalize on the exact moment your willpower is at its lowest. They know that when you're hungry and tired, your future self, the one who wants to retire or buy a house, loses the argument to your present self, the one who wants a cheeseburger now. The industry secret is that it's a race to the bottom. Drivers are making less, restaurants are being squeezed into ghost kitchens that have all the soul of an insurance office, and you are paying double for food that is inevitably colder and soggier than it would be at the source. It's a lose-lose-lose scenario. Yet we keep tapping the screen because we've been conditioned to believe that saving time is the ultimate virtue, even if we use that saved time to just scroll through more apps. The actionable alternative? The 10-minute rule. If you can't get to the food in 10 minutes, you don't need the food. Or, more realistically, stop using the big 3 apps and call the restaurant directly. Many restaurants now offer their own delivery or a discount for pickup because they hate the apps as much as your bank account does. If you must use them, treat it like a luxury purchase, not a default lifestyle. You wouldn't hire a private chauffeur to take you to the mailbox, so why hire a private courier to bring you a taco? The convenience economy relies on your inability to do basic addition. Once you start seeing the $38 price tag instead of the $15 one, the burger starts to taste a lot less like a reward and a lot more like a bad investment. In summary, every time you hit place order, you are paying a 100% markup to stay in your comfort zone. Stop letting a colorful UI trick you into thinking your $15 craving is worth a $40 withdrawal from your future.